Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today it is a gloriously rainy day here. It's washing away some of this pollen that we have, so we thought this would be a great time to do a greenhouse chat.
It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
For one of these chats.
Yeah. So this is just one of those fun chats where Jerry and I are completely unscripted. We go through, we kind of give you a update on how things are going here at the nursery, what are some of the behind the scenes, maybe future projects that are coming up. And then we have a bunch of your questions via social media that we go through and answer, because we see a lot of those same questions kind of over and over. So if we see those questions repeatedly, we want to address those so that we can give you the answers to that. So this is just a really fun, informal chat where you're going to get a lot of information that you're maybe not normally going to get on any of the other videos. Correct. So it's April.
It is April. We are in the throes, or whatever you want to call the spring.
Yes.
Is here. All parts of Creekside are at
Maximum
capacity.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It is spring madness around here.
So everything is at full, the videos are at full throttle, which they always are, but there's more into it, more planting.
I know, Mama was asking me today, she was going to do a little project for me. She was like, but if you were going to film that, I didn't want to step on your toes and take something away. And I was like, Mama, I have got a video list of things to do a mile long.
There's a gazillion plants sitting in the greenhouse up there that have to go out.
Yes.
I mean, there are,
tons of garden projects.
I don't even know how many, they're sitting up there that need to be planted.
Yeah.
So that's all rolling, and we're still planting plants that are going out for you sweet guys and ladies that have been purchasing plants for online. We've pretty much gotten everything planted for the garden center, local garden center, so it's been done. So we're just still trying to keep that engine going as far as the online store goes. So that we're shipping every day, two UPS trucks. We're doing everything we can. We're getting out the orders. We're doing a great job. And then we're open Wednesday through Saturday now. It's on here. It's go time. Everybody got a little worried this week about this potential freeze, cold, 38 degrees, 32 degrees. What are we going to get on Wednesday morning? But
who knows?
Everything, is, most of it's going to be just fine either way.
Yes.
So
yeah. And we're
after that, it's all over.
We're going to talk about that too a little bit, about the weather and everything. But yeah, I mean, projects are going on like crazy. In fact, Jerry and I were talking on the way over here. The Creekside Signature Experience is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
That is on June the 20th, that Friday. So if you would love to come and spend the day with us to get a first class, behind the scenes exclusive experience, we would love to have you. That is the Creekside Signature Experience on Friday, June 20th. I will leave a link in the video description that you can go ahead and purchase your tickets.
We sold some more tickets on Friday.
Did we?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yes. So we have spots for 60 guests to come and join us.
So it's
going to be really fun.
Left, so.
Yeah, 20 something left. Going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, we would love to have you. And yeah.
Yeah, so we'll start getting ready for that now, as far as the landscaping and all that, and all the gardens and everything planted and rolling. So it's on for that. Just a quick update, because this has been talked about so many different times, the production area, the outdoor growing area.
Oh yeah.
And the outdoor growing bay outside my greenhouse. Do we grow annuals and our greenhouse plants outside? Yeah, we do. Because we have some high-end super bells and super petunias and those things that have been growing outside since the beginning of March here in North Carolina, getting full sun, getting the real sun, massive white root growth development.
Tight, compact.
Mm-hmm. We even went back, because we have succession plantings in some of these, and we've trimmed back like bubble gum, and we just put them all outside, so the whole outdoor area is really working really well.
It is. They are gorgeous. And then of course today's like today, they love all that good rain, because
good rain.
I tell you, rain's always better than your water.
Yep.
All right, so we are going to jump on in here, and I have all of your questions that we took on my phone, so that is why I have my phone out for these questions. All right, so talking about the online orders and production and all of that, a couple of questions, comments on that. And this is from Linda. She says, I've placed several orders and had 0 issues. Even the box that was dropped about 2 feet to the ground, upside down, had no issues, no displaced soil. Jenny, can you thank the folks in shipping for me? I'm in East San Diego County, California. Creekside plants are tough. Even with the long trip and single-digit humidity, the plants don't stress after arrival. However, plants from other companies freak out and immediately drop all their leaves. Bless their hearts. So that is wonderful to hear. We have gotten tons and tons of feedback from you sweet people about how your orders are arriving, and we love getting messages and comments like that. Yeah, because
it's overwhelming right now. I'm sure there's been problems. I mean, things happen.
Sure, things happen, and but also just to talk about last year we know that there was some issues. It was our first year. We were overwhelmed a lot, and so we are so incredibly thankful for those of you that have trusted us to place orders again, because we kept telling you we knew that there were issues last year, and we were working so hard to put systems in place so that those issues don't arise. So to have these great comments.
They're great comments. The only thing I would tap into that a little bit is the understanding of the week or when it hits for zone 8.
Right.
It's not that day.
Right.
Like it could say if it's April 1st, it's not that day your order goes out. I mean, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, just depending upon the amount of orders, the weather here, the plant development here. So there's so many factors that play into all that with all mail order companies. But so far, so good. We're doing,
right. And we've tried this year to communicate a lot better, because generally speaking, we were running about 2 weeks behind because of the weather. Like we had the coldest winter we've had in like 3 years. And even though, yes, the greenhouses are heated and everything, it still does affect the plant growth. So we were communicating with those online customers via email and everything, saying, listen, we're running about 2 weeks behind, but man, our staff is working. They are working hard to get those orders out. So we'll get into, there's more questions that go with this. Then we had Terry. Terry says, should we do a hardening off when they arrive? Maybe a 2-day hardening. And my response to that would be, it's going to depend on your weather. So if you have, obviously the plants are leaving here in North Carolina, they're going to travel to you. So if you're in extreme cold or an extreme heat wave, then it's not going to hurt to have the plants harden off. So what does harden off mean? It means that as soon as your plants arrive, you unbox them. If they have the plastic wrapping on it, take the plastic wrapping off. Just cut it off. You don't have to worry about that staple. Leave the staple. Just get scissors and cut it off. Give them a drink of water, and then place them in kind of a protected, shady area. So if it's really hot, definitely put them outside in the shade so they can get acclimated. Or if it's really, really cold, like you're having a cold snap like we're getting ready to have, maybe you put them in like your garage or something until that cold passes, and then you can take them out and move them outside. But like Jerry said, the vast majority of those plants are growing outdoors and or in a greenhouse that sides roll up. So they're pretty tough.
Our greenhouses, for the most part, other than a day like today, they stay open.
Yeah.
So they're getting like the real air, so it's
they're pretty tough.
They're pretty tough.
When I take my plants out of the greenhouse, I don't harden them off before I put them in the landscape. They just go straight out.
Yeah.
Then we have, oh gosh, I'm going to butcher your name. Naga says, hi Jenny, do you ship to Canada? Not at this time. We ship to the lower 48s, but going with the customs and across the border.
I can't imagine doing plants. It's hard enough.
Sending plants across the border is hard enough to get them to California with all their regulations. But, going across the border at this time, we do not. Let us get a couple of years under our belt where we've got things just cranking and rolling, and maybe we will.
I don't really see plants.
I said maybe we will think about it.
Maybe hard goods.
Maybe hard goods, yes. Oh my gosh. And then Karen, so this is a good question you were talking about. So Karen says, I ordered flowers from you back in late November. When will they be shipped out, please? So Karen, it all depends on your growing zone. So if you're in a zone 10 or 11, you already have your plants. If you're in a zone 6, 7, 5, we're not even thinking about you yet. So we always wait until after your last frost date, and then we begin shipping your growing zone.
Yeah, typically like 9A, or 9B, in the 8s. Those zones in 7, they're usually really huge as far as getting all those out. But they've been working them. So
So if you go to the website, because I don't know where zone you are. And so if you will go to the website, we always have a banner at the top of the website that says we're now shipping zone 8.
8, that's what it is.
And so that means we're shipping zones 8 and higher. So that kind of gives you an idea of when your zone will be coming along. But again, just think it's not going to be before your last frost date. So
we normally can't. I mean, making a comment like that on YouTube, which is great and helpful, but it's sometimes we don't see that. So
and I didn't see this was 2 weeks ago, and I never saw it.
It's not a good place to ask about your orders at all on social media. So you need to email orders at Gardening with Creekside. Also on the website there is a little question bot down at the bottom, and he will find your order for you. So that's all true. There on the website.
Yeah, so that's a great point, because we really haven't talked about that on the chat bot on the website. Yeah. So you can go in and type in, when will my order ship? And it's the coolest thing. In fact, when we did it, we tried to stump it a couple of times. And so it will answer that for you. But again, on social media, like I didn't even see her question because we get so many comments across all the social media platforms. If you have a question or there is a problem with your order, if you will please email orders@gardeningwithcreekside.com, and they will answer you. They typically, now if you email on a Friday night at 8 o'clock, you're not going to hear back until the earliest would be a Monday morning. So our people don't work on the weekends. Those folks don't work on the weekends.
And that's a particular person that's handling all of those emails, and emails like that. We are going to get your order out regardless.
Oh yeah.
So, but that person is responsible for organizing the orders to go out. So we don't want her tied down with too many questions like this. So we would, we try to direct folks to the AI. It's an AI bot that's on the website.
Yep.
And it only works on information within the website. So it should find it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. All right. All right. Let's talk about, this was a very fun comment. And talking about it, this is one that I did not see until we were going through looking at questions. And so here you go. This is from Susan. Susan says, when are you and Jerry going to retire and give Jackson free reign?
I mean, anytime he wants to take over.
He's 14. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, we're still young. I mean, we're still rolling. There's still lots of development here. He's still young. Emily would be the closest to that, because she'll be graduating college next year.
Yeah.
So she'll have a better understanding of business, hopefully, after her degree. But Jackson's highly capable. Megan is highly capable. So all three of them, right. But Megan's going to be going off to college, likelihood, in the next year.
She's got another year of high school.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's Jackson has his own dreams too. So I mean, he does, and likelihood is that he may want to run it. I don't care if he does or he doesn't. It'll be cool, but he has his own dreams. He has his own talent with that excavator. He gonna get his driver's license, and he's gonna go out and make more money than most college graduates.
Yeah.
I mean, this is flat out what's going to happen.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we've never put any kind of pressure on our kids that they have to take over the business or be in the business, but
yeah.
While they're living under our roof, they have to help. But as far as like long term,
yeah.
So who knows? That will. But yeah, Jerry, we got a long time before we retire. So.
And even that, retire is such a weird word, because you don't really ever stop. You might retire from your position at wherever, but we're always going to be working.
Oh yeah, there's always something to do for sure. Okay, so there was a time where I planted the first petunias in the ground. So excited. They're at the patio, and man, they have already taken off. They've been in the ground for 10 days. Has it? I don't think it's been quite 2 weeks yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it has. And so Kay Jones says, beautiful. Are you afraid the temperature may drop before Easter? If it does, what will you do to protect the petunias? It will drop. It's going to drop this week. Again, we don't know how low it's going to go. It could be 36. It could be 32. It could be 30. Time will tell, but that's the great thing about planting super petunias, super bells, these cool tolerant annuals. They don't care. They can handle it. We've had those ones up at production outside. We've got the ones outside here at this greenhouse that have had frost on them. They're like, we can do it. We can handle it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do anything to protect them.
Yeah, the only time that you would be concerned about it would be if it was like this massive freeze coming.
Yes.
Starting like in the the time that you go to bed, like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and it's freezing all night. Now that would be trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, what I would do is, and that's why I have been more reserved on planting things yet, in case that does happen, I can protect those plants and not have to do massive gardens. So you either throw a blanket on top of them, you put pots on top of them. If they're not in the ground, either in a container, you would take that into your protected area. But
yeah.
we are good to go. And then this is one of the most common comments / questions that we get as the rain begins to pour down. This is from, I love this, Sunshine and Sprinkles. There you go. Can we just take a minute and admire that beautiful green lawn?
Oh,
Yes,
grass.
the grass. Yeah. Because we, obviously, we live on, we have 8.5 acres here. And so with the house and everything we built our house in the middle of a field. So we have a lot of wide open spaces. And Jerry is a grass guy.
Yeah.
He does enjoy his grass. But with the drone shots and then of course all the different videos and everything, and it is looking unbelievable right now because of the time of year, but it's a collaborative effort between
it is between
you and Chandler.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get
that I've had questions about it over the weekend here at the garden center, folks coming in asking about it. I said, if you're local, we just need to get you on the turf care program.
We got a question about that.
Okay.
So yes. So then RPH Jacobs says, Jenny, can you sweet talk Jerry into explaining how to create a lawn like you have? I have an existing lawn full of crabgrass and it looks bare and ugly. Can I just seed the fescue right on top of my existing lawn, or should I sprinkle soil, then seed? Your lawn is breathtaking.
Yeah, that is a good question. You were going to be handling all this in the fall. First of all, you're not going to be doing that now because the fescue will die this summer. So you're going to be handling that on the fall. So then come about August, you have time to go ahead and kill all your crabgrass, weeds, and all that that's already there in your lawn. And then depending on your soil, what's there, I don't know, you could just plug and overseed. So that means the machine that comes through and pulls out a core, leaves a hole in the ground, and the core lays out, so that starts to aerate your soil. It also gives a place for seed and fertilizer to go, and you'll have all these little baby grasses coming out of those little holes.
Right.
So it gives a great place for the roots to go.
Because fescue is a cool weather grass.
Yes.
So that's why Jerry said if you do it now, it's going to die in the summer because it's not going to have enough time for the roots to get established. Yeah. So we always reseed and do all that in the fall. It has all winter, doesn't matter how cold it gets. It's nice and happy and is growing. So it looks good this time of year because those roots are really well established.
Yeah, there's a gazillion programs out there. I know NC State has the Turf Files website that have a basic tall fescue guideline to follow, because it is a program and it has to be regimented and you have to do it every single year the same way.
Right. And so we're talking about like Jerry and Chandler. So Jerry does love grass, and Jerry could absolutely handle this no problem. It's a little thing called time, right? So he's pulled in 10,000 different directions. So we have partnered up with Chandler, who does an amazing job and maintains the lawn both at the house and here at the signature garden, everything. So he does everything. So he does the whole program, but he and Jerry talk about things all the time. When are we doing this? When are we doing that? And so Chandler has been a massive help. So all those beautiful stripes that you see on the videos, those are from Chandler, and he does an amazing job with that. Yep. Another really popular question here lately, since it has started to get warm, and I have been wearing my sun hat. I have two new sun hats. And so got tons of questions on that. Kathy says, Jenny, I have a question. Where can I get that hat you're wearing? I need a wide brim hat where I can also wear my ponytail. Love it. Thanks in advance. So I found this Australian company, and it's all online. It's Solbari, and we're not affiliated with them whatsoever, so you can just go and shop to your little heart's content. But the Australians do a really, really, really good job with sun protective clothing and hats, and so Solbari is one that I found them last year, have ordered multiple hats from them, and they just do a great job. They're very, this one I got this year is actually a linen, so it's a little bit cooler, and I love the fact that my ponytail can stick out the back. It cinches down, so when I'm in Johnny and the wind is going through, it doesn't fall off my head, but it does have a chin strap if you want to put that on. So I will put the link in for Solbari. You can go, you can look, they have all these different styles, different men, women, kids, you name it. And so that is, with us being out in the sun really 6 days a week, sun protection is huge. So whether it's with your clothing or your hat, you need to take care of yourself and take care of your skin. Go see your dermatologist once a year and get checked out, but do everything you can to protect your skin. And so that's why I love those hats, because not only protects my face, but my ears, my back of my neck, and all of that stuff. So there you go. Y'all can have happy shopping with that, guys. Those websites. And I will say they ship directly from Australia. So it takes just a little bit of time to get here, but all things considered that it's literally on the other side of the world, it comes relatively pretty quick. This is from Pat. Hi Jenny, I just planted a paisley pup in my shade garden as well. I dearly love Japanese maples. We have 3 also, and I want more. Isn't flamethrower a redbud? So yes, Pat, thank you so much. And I actually responded to you. So when I was in the shade garden planting those paisley pups, I was talking about the 3 Japanese maples that we have there, and I called it a flamethrower. It is not. It is a fire glow. So words are hard sometimes, and trying to remember exactly all the plants is hard. So that's not a flamethrower. It is a fire glow Japanese maple that can take full sun. So
it's a good one.
Yeah, so thank you for being kind in your correction of me, but you were absolutely correct. Yes. Sheila says, hi Jenny, I just found your channel and I'm loving it. Welcome. Thank you for explaining the plants and what you are doing. This info is very helpful. What is the brand of your planting auger? This is definitely going on my wish list. Thanks again. So we do use the augers like all the time.
Yeah, the augers have changed the game as far as planting goes for Jenny and all the gardening work for anybody. I just had Chandler, which he does the landscape jobs and stuff. He even took it out.
He did.
Found it really easy because this bed had this like retaining wall. I couldn't get the little bobcat in to drill holes, and just take the Jenny's Edition 9-inch, I think it was, with the DeWalt 60 volt and drill that in. So on our website, they're under Jenny's augers.
Yes. So we partnered with Power Planter, who is just famous for their augers for various applications. And so we partnered with them and designed the Jenny's Edition. So there is a 5, a 7, and a 9-inch auger that you can get in lime green or pink. And they are meant for that heavy clay soil that like what we have. They are heavy duty. They last a lifetime. The parts are replaceable.
That's the key.
And they just make everything so much easier. We actually made it a little bit taller, not crazy tall, and so that you're not hunched over, bent over with that auger, because we have done that before, and at the end of the day, my back would be absolutely killing me. Not the way anymore now that I'm using the Jenny's augers that are taller. So we'll have that linked, and it's always on our website, so you can always go to the website. It's under like tools and equipment, and so they're right there. But yeah, they are a game changer for sure.
Yep.
And then Lisa says, a little plant question from Miss Lisa. Good morning, Jenny. I love all your videos. Been following you for about 2 years now. I would love to have an El Nino, but I'm worried about the Japanese beetles. I believe you had an issue with them last summer. Is there anything I can do to stop that from happening? So we are, of course, in North Carolina, And Japanese beetles, it's not, are you going to get them? It's a matter of when are you going to get them. But the good news is, Lisa, it wasn't Japanese beetles. So the Japanese beetles were not on the El Nino. Praise the Lord. But I did have a caterpillar. And this caterpillar was like the Catalina sphinx moth caterpillar that is specifically attracted to the catalpas, which is what an El Nino is. Last year was the first year I've had that problem, didn't have it previous to that. And they found it irresistible. I mean, they chewed the leaves. I looked up one day and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to my tree? So what I did was I went and grabbed our ready to use BT spray. And I just went through and I sprayed as many as I could possibly get. And that is a natural, organic way to safely kill just the caterpillars. It doesn't harm anybody else. And so I did that one day, and then I went back the next day. I would say 98% of them were gone, just the ones that I missed. I sprayed it again, and then everything was fine. So as long as you kind of are paying attention ahead of time, and as soon as you see that first one, then you can spray and get rid of them. But this year, what I'm going to do is, of course, I'll still have my BT spray that if I need it, but also we have a drench. And so this does protect against aphids and Japanese beetles and those caterpillars and all those kinds of things. And you can pour it around the base of the plant, and it protects the plant for a whole year. So I can hear you right now. Well, Jenny, the birds will eat the caterpillars. Why didn't you just leave them? Yeah, no, they don't.
Too many of them.
Well, one, there were so many, like my birds would be too fat to get off the ground. But two, the birds don't eat them because of their coloring. Yes, and so they don't eat them. So nothing eats that. And so yeah, I got rid of them. Either BT
it's just
spray.
Gardening. That's just part of gardening. That's why it's called gardening. You know, you have to get out and work it.
Absolutely, yeah. So, but the good news is it wasn't Japanese beetles. Bad news, it was caterpillars.
Yep.
So there we go. Tammy, so Tammy's question has to deal with our Redbud that has just finished being in full bloom. And so Tammy says, your garden is so beautiful. How old is your pansy Redbud? I just bought one and hoping it is a fast grower. So this is the forest pansy Redbud.
15 years?
Yes.
15.
Because it's just a smidge over 15, because I always remember how old this tree is, because do you know why?
I do.
I was pregnant with Jackson when we bought the tree.
We didn't know it at the time.
No, I did.
We knew it at that time?
Yeah.
I thought it was after we planted the trees.
No, I was pregnant.
I know you were pregnant, but we didn't know you were pregnant at the time.
I remember I was pregnant. Ask a woman if she remembers when she was pregnant. I remember I was pregnant. So yes, I was pregnant because we had the other car. Anyway, I was pregnant.
Gotcha.
I knew I was pregnant. So it was 15 years ago. Well, a little bit more than 15 now because he's getting ready to turn 15.
Yeah.
And it was a 15-gallon. So that was.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We planted that and that redwood at the same time.
We did. And then Alva says, your gardens look amazing. How do you keep weeds from growing in the garden beds? Well, thank you. You're very kind. There's no way to stop them. You can try to slow them down. The best way to help slow them down, prevent them, really is a good thick layer of mulch. We're switching over this year for all the beds at the house to be that Daddy Pete soil enhancer, because I want them to have all the same look. But it's great because those aged pine bark vines are very fine, and so when you put a nice layer of them, it's hard for those weed seeds to get all the way down into the soil in order to germinate.
Yeah.
But regardless of what kind of mulch you use, a nice thick layer of mulch is your #1 defense against weeds. When I have beds that are completely covered in weeds, and we have those beds, it's because I don't have my mulch like it should be. The weeds will still come when you have the mulch, and then that's why I say if you see a weed, pull a weed. It's much easier to pull a weed when it's, a little baby.
It's like, go out at night, grab you a cup of coffee.
Or a cocktail, whatever you want.
Something, just take a garden walk in the morning, or, in the afternoon with your husband or your wife,
Kids.
you know, kids, and just, you know, look at and enjoy what you've done and check the plants, check the beds, and pull the weeds.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. And if you can, it's easier said than done, but if you can put yourself on like a kind of a rotation, so like say on Monday, you try to go to the front of the house and do your little garden walk on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you go to the back of the house. So if you try to do that on a regular basis, it's so much easier to maintain the weeds ahead of time instead of being reactionary.
And we all do all that, but man, we all get behind. We get behind.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And when we do those garden tours, like I'm telling you, you're going to see weeds. They are there for sure.
Yeah. This is North Carolina. We're going to have weeds.
I think winter weeds are worse sometimes than summer weeds.
You know, it's raining right now, so any weed seeds that are ready to roll, they're going to start germinating after this rain.
This warm.
Because we get so much water, you know, so we're going to have a regular rotation of the weeds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of sticking with that, talking about the mulch, we have been using, kind of switched over a good little bit, using the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix. And so Terry asked, when do you use Black Gold versus your other soils or addendums?
Yeah, I would say, you know, like we got two major, we're going to call this Black Gold. It's a planting mix. It is an absolutely true planting mix that has compost in it. So it's not coming out of the box saying it's a compost. It's not just a compost. It has compost mixed in it. It has aged pine bark in it. It has a little bit of peat in it, some forest products in it. So it's a really great planting mix to amend those first 4 inches or so of soil, not in the bottom of the hole, just those 4 inches, you know, to start working that. And also you could use it as a mulch, you know. And
you can plant directly in it.
You can plant directly in it. That is so cool, because you've seen Jenny do this at the chicken coop in the fall, and we just laid out the bags, cut them open, and then planted right in it. And the annuals love that. Perennials will love it, you know, so those are the first reasons. So then if I come into a situation like at the chicken coop where the clay there is hard and it got lots of goopy red clay, I'm going to come in there with the aged pine bark from Daddy Pete soil enhancer, and maybe, I mean, that's a regional product, so you're not going to be able to get it in Missouri, you know. So you can search for something like that and then really like mix it in to aerate the soil. Right,
for sure.
And then top off with the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix.
Yes, absolutely. And then kind of going along with that, Jeannie says, hi Jimmy, are you using the new compost instead of Land and Sea? I am beginning to switch over because I'm finding that the Land and Sea is a little too barky, too much bark. And not enough compost per se, so it's not holding the moisture like I need it to, that the Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix does. I'm telling you, because when I planted those annuals at the chicken coop in the fall, and they have performed amazingly well, and we've used Black Gold many times before.
It goes back to like when I first found that Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix, it was in like 2021, and I remember it because I started using it a lot in landscaping, and it was an area where it was a fresh pool area and lots of soil, so I was wanting to make sure there were organics in there, so I added that. And that was when we first started using it. We used it on and off, you know,
for years. For years. But just because, you know, especially in those areas, for me, when I have that terrible red clay with no organic matter, and those are those hot, dry areas, it tends to be this kind of those same areas, using that Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix with that compost, it is such a rich environment for my plants to grow in, and it really helps retain the moisture, and it's not so much pure bark as opposed to like the Land and Sea. So yeah, you're going to see me using more and more of that Ultra Outdoor.
Well, and it's still, even Land and Sea is good in its own way, but it's just, and you know, here at the Garden Center, you know, we've always said we want to carry the products that work the best.
Yes.
We don't want to have a bunch of SKUs.
No.
So it'll just, you know, depend on how that goes.
Right. Speaking of a bunch of SKUs, that means like, items that we carry. So we are so excited that we are the first garden center that HoseLink of retractable hoses approached and said, hey, we want to see how people respond to having hose links available at the local garden center. So we are the first local garden center, independent garden center, to have hose links available for sale here at the nursery, because HoseLink has always been always online. Like, that was the only way that you could get it. You would order it online directly from HoseLink. So we now offer the 82-foot retractable hose here in the charcoal color here at the garden center. And so
it's been good reception.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Ordy asked, how much is the HoseLink?
They're $269 right here.
Yeah. So they're $269, and so that is, it just makes it easier if you're here and you're local. Well, if you're here, you don't have to be local, but if you're here and you want it, then you absolutely can go ahead and purchase it. Like, we have them set up on the property because we use them. I love them. So you can not only test it, because there's literally a HoseLink set up right there beside the display. But if you're not local, you can click the link in the video description. We will get a little bit of a compensation. So if you're going to go and order a HoseLink, we would love it, appreciate it if you would use our link, and so that way we get a little reward for you ordering through them. But they have, of course, all their products, whether it's the solar lighting or whatever, and they are coming out with a new, longer hose reel.
It's here.
Yes. So they were kind enough to send us one, so we need to be installing that this week.
Yeah, the 100 foot's here.
So they have a 100-foot reel available, and that's online only. So check that out for sure. And then, speaking of ordering online, we had a great question from Rissa. Says, Jenny, do you offer gift certificates? I didn't see anything about it on your online store. If so, how are they given and redeemed?
Yeah, it's there on the store.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to find.
Just you can type in gift certificates. I'll try to remember to do a link.
I'm pretty sure it's in the merch category or something, and it's also down in a favorite area. It was, but they're always changing that thing, so I'm not sure if it's
if you type in gift certificate, it'll come up. Again, I will try to remember to provide a link.
So you get a code and you can use it on the website, or you can bring it here to the garden center and check out with it, no problem.
And you can easily send it to somebody. So if you're, obviously a lot of times when you buy a gift certificate, it's for somebody else. So you can send it to that person. They'll get their code. So when they go to order online, it'll say like, do you have a promo code or whatever, they can plug that in and it automatically works. Or if they're coming here to the garden center, because it's all the same system, again, you just say, I have a gift certificate. It's easy to redeem here at the garden center, and you can do it in any amount that you want. So you can do it, a $10, $100, $1,000. It does not matter. That's all digital, and it's super easy to use.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think we're done. As the rain begins to slow down and it gets a little brighter in here.
Yeah.
I don't know that the sun's going to come out.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But it's nice.
It does look a little brighter out there.
It does. It does. All right. Any final parting words?
No, I'm just...
Ready for lunch?
Yeah.
He's ready for lunch. As always, y'all, if you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do every single week. As always,
sign up for the emails.
Yes. Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Sign up for the emails. Talking about the Power Planner. There may or may not be a special that's coming later on this month for the augers going on sale. So if you're not part of the emails, sign up. They're always in the video description. They're free. We're not going to bombard you, but there are tons of exclusive sales and promotions that you're only going to learn about if you sign up for those emails, including that auger special sale. So sign up for those as well.
Yep.
Good point.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.